Hello everyone, this is Redact, and this game is called Suzerain. So we were able to save our marriage, apparently, by agreeing with our wife who interrupted the festivities. This episode we should be talking to the generals about how they're going to spend their money, and also trade deals maybe? The trade deals will come out this episode, not sure. Well, let's see how it goes. Right, what should we do first? Discussion of the formation of the new police force, right. Okay, let's do that. Carl arrived for the meeting to discuss the new police force. After Livia informed us of his arrival, Lucian opened the door and let him in. Hello, Mr. President, Mr. Glade. What a sunny day, isn't it? Weather outside was beautiful indeed. Clear sky and sunshine made the scenery look lively. You could even hear the sounds of birds chirping from the palace garden. You're right, I need to go out more often nowadays. Good to see you, Carl. How have you been? Fine, so the emergency aid gave us wide-ranging powers and allowed us to crush any illegal activity in the country. More importantly, the security situation in the country is much more stable, allowing people to return to normal life. Please have a seat, we don't want you to feel uncomfortable. Oh, I'm used to being uncomfortable. Took a seat and corrected his posture. We've been informed of the establishment of the anti-corruption police under the Ministry of Justice. Indeed so. Minister Morgner has given me full authority to lead the new force in order to fight corruption from within. Very powerful force, one that didn't exist in Sordland before. Important question is where your loyalties lie. Congratulations, I hope we'll be close partners in the fight against corruption. Yes. So we have had a tough and long fight ahead of us. It will take years, but we will win. You can believe that. Good. Let me make absolutely clear, my belief in you as a leader is unquestionable. Excellent. Excellent. Mr. Morgner, though not as inspiring as you are, has also shown great capability. The more I work with her, the more I'm convinced she's a very motivated and efficient administrator. Don't always see eye to eye with her, but we might be all allies on this topic. So the anti-corruption police is separated from the interior. You're the best man for the job. I'm sure you're going to excel. Thanks for the good words. You honour me, but our job is not yet done. Carl leaned closer and lowered his voice ever so slightly. There are elements within our state that have ulterior motives. Elaborate, please. May I speak frankly, sir? Of course. Yes. Supported the Emergency Act and the expanded powers given to our police to stabilise the country, we have achieved our goals. However, I couldn't help but notice certain high-ranking officers in the Sordland police force have been acting autonomously. It's a grave concern for us. Chain of command is jeopardised. After further research, we found there were some very powerful deep state forces inside the administration influencing our security. Our investigations have just begun, but certain links we have discovered are troubling. Mr. Hawker, who's Mr. Hawker? Oh, him, okay. Has financial and other ties to certain figures in the police and the government. He's a very dangerous man. Currently, we are collecting evidence of his middlemen to discover a real link that could lead us to further suspects. Good. I want blackmail material against him. Lucian glanced at me with his eyebrow raised. Mr. Morgner is very concerned about the Supreme Court and old guards. He sees them as the primary threat. We need to find their weaknesses just in case. In that case, the department will keep an eye on any leads. You surely can be on the safe side, even though we are working with them. Besides them, there are other elements we are aware of. Oligarchs seem to have people in the inside as well. We've received some unconfirmed reports about Mr. Tux having bought people in the administration. They seem to be evading taxes through bribery and exploiting the grey areas in our laws. Investigators in Estord and Narbel have also found some suspicious financial activity from some of their corporations. The tax returns are to be public. It would help us track irregularities in the filings. We could look further into Tusk. Bribery should be eradicated from the system. Yes. We do our best, sir. It plagued us from all ends, but the oligarchs seem to be immense influence and money. They keep utilising it. Marcel Coronti and HRS also have some strong presence in the media and other industries. There are patterns we observe that are unusual. It really seems that they have a powerful influence in the majority of the so-called independent news organisations. It might not be so independent after all. He offered me a deal before and needs to be investigated. Should I be telling him this? Or shall I just keep him on my side and just go after the... Because the Supreme Court have already done what I wanted them to do. And I want to crush them anyway. Marcel offered me a deal before and needs to be investigated. But should I try and get some blackmail from him? No, let's keep it. Let's not make too many enemies. We'll be supportive. He's a close friend. He might not be innocent, but if you think he isn't an issue, then we can move on. I'll side. Last but not least is the opposition leader, Franz Richter. We have received intelligence he has connections to Arcasia. On further inquiries, we can't see anything illegal here besides a mismatch of information. The old guard must have pushed this forward. We shouldn't even consider moving on the reformist leader in our position. Yeah, look deeper. Everyone has something usually. PF, JP and other opposition leaders can't be fully clean. There's so many potential corruption cases here. Therefore, if we need to pick a faction to focus on, we can't investigate everyone with the remainder of this term and come up with a thorough and compelling case. Drain the swamp! Oh yes! Where should we concentrate on anti-corruption efforts? And the opposition. They should be happy with me. They shouldn't be against me because I cut taxes. And Hawker is sort of on my side anyway, so let's go after the opposition. Fully focus our recent investigation on the PFJP. So hopefully that will help us win the next election, as well as the NFP. It's been decided we should conclude the meeting. Thank you for your time. Privileged to work with you, President Rain. Good day. Carl and Lucian left the room. Okay. So what happened? Mentioned has launched an investigation against the reformists. Yes. There are enemies. What else? So it's just the news. Okay, we'll read the news. Anti-corruption police force formed. A special police department has been formed to fight corruption within the state, businesses and the police itself. The anti-corruption force, anti-blah blah blah blah, will be serving its duties under the Justice Ministry of Sordland. Nia and Carl and other government officials spent the past months building the anti-corruption department from scratch. The unit consists of officers from General Police Service, the Justice Ministry and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. We're ready, says Carl, the newly appointed chief of the anti-corruption police. We're already conducting a crackdown on corruption within our state institutions. Our officers started working on the intelligence reports. Okay, so what's going on? Corruption. Right, so nothing has happened with corruption yet. Okay. Right, let's talk about the armed forces then. To determine the current situation of the military and its spending policy, we held a meeting in the White Room. Peter, Vulcan and Joseph were seated. So he's the Ministry of Defense. He's the Chief of the Armed Forces. Okay. General Vulcan, Mr. Lancier, let's start with a briefing. Very well, Mr. Vice President. Prepared a briefing to convey further details about the current situation of our military. Which branch would you like to know about? Well, the situation of our army. According to the latest reports from Camp Strongarm, currently we field 6 armies totaling approximately 400,000 active troops. Which is a good amount. The real issue we are having is quality, not quantity. What's the current equipment status? I gave you more money. You better not be asking for more money. Army is quite outdated by today's military standards. Most of our equipment is 2 decades old. Make up for a lack of modern equipment, we resort to large numbers of soldiers. It's not really a long-term solution. We've been trying hard to reduce the negative effects of this problem. We don't need a modernization program. A standardized purchase of lacking equipment would do. We need more funding towards expanding the military size, otherwise our army will be seen as weak. Where exactly is our army deployed? First army stationed at Lesbia and Relen borders to protect the way into the central regions. Second army, our largest force, is situated on the Rumburg border. Second army has the large mountain commando force and is most adequately equipped army to face Rumburg. Third army is near the Agnonian border. Due to our bitter past, our coastal defence force is always on alert. Decimation of our fleet is still not forgotten. How do we compare to other armies? Roman fields about 6 armies amounting to 1 million soldiers. Holy shit. Lesbia fields 5 armies which amount to 800,000. Holy shit. Vaxland field 1 army about 140,000. Okay. Berlin field an army amounting to 100. Magnolia fields 2 armies, a total of 200,000. Okay. Sheer size of Rumby's armies because of their forced conscription laws. Due to their massive gold reserves, they're able to afford it. On the other hand, the Lesbian army is the most advanced, followed by the Vaxlandian army. Both of these countries put lots of money in modernising their military. Curious about another branch. Very well. Let's talk about the Navy. Navy consists of 59 ships with total 60,000 sailors. You know, these ships were commanded from our main naval base in Conriat, where our flagship SN Renan is docked. What do we currently patrol? The Markian Sea, the Grey Strait, and Axanian Sea. Navy protects our coastal regions, however. To make sure we're not filling up our defence, we prioritise certain regions over others, like Greater Holsword. Often patrol the routes that are close to shipping lanes. Find a cargo that goes through that area is eye-opening. Another thing to note is after the takeover of Helgeland, where our navy had led an incursion operations to protect Agnolia, we also take part in some joint military drills as well. How does the military compare? It's dwarfed by the size of the Vaxlanian Navy, which has 194, and the Agnonian has 81. So together we could probably do something. We only surpass Lesbia in terms of our navy, as they have less than 30 ships. You can see the situation is dire, but the solution is not just more ships. If we can truly bet out navy, we need to equip our ships with modern radar and sonar systems. How is our capabilities in power projection? Truth is, we are limited to our near region due to the size and technological level of our navy ships. With modern support vessels, we can participate in international operations. That's right, we still have some power though. If needed, we could block the trade at the Markian Sea. To make up for our weakness, allying ourselves to a naval power would also help protect our seas. Okay, what about the other branches? Which one? Air Force? 410 planes. Only 140 are jet planes and not in great condition. 30,000 pilots. Okay, what are our operational capabilities? We can bomb targets within 400 kilometers. The airfield with medium range and semi-effective nighttime bombing capabilities. Anytime we can field 7 air wings consisting of a total of 130 aircraft. Enough to subdue most targets. As our bombing capability, we have an average of 100 meters of precision. Not great, but still within the effective radius. How does it work together with other military branches? Air Force is trained as an independent tactical support branch. Assists other branches but doesn't collaborate. Does cause some issues like friendly fire and miss close air support opportunities. There are always ways to improve collaboration with joint operation rooms. Something to think about surely. How experienced are our pilots? Average experience, total 450 hours flight plane with the craft before they're qualified. Low compared to other ones. Okay, so our pilots aren't great. Normally the hours per pilot would be high, but due to the lack of funding we can't increase the training times. Let's know about other branches. Actually, let's move on. Let's. Clears his throat. Ministry of Defence is content with the additional funds. Hopefully the allocated money helps our defence needs. Increase of the military budget is for national security, which is threatened by other nations. Made it a top priority for our administration. Hold it in high esteem. Pleasure to work with you and Joseph and Vulcan. You're true sons of Sordland who have served well and continue to serve well. Important thing is we put these funds to good use as the people need proof of our success in the military. Yeah, it's for national security, and rightfully so. We're surrounded by jackals, as our intelligence and general staff indicates. Enemies are both outside and inside the country. We do what is necessary to protect the soil. Should we move on to the spending choice? I want to hear the suggestions. Because the military budget leaves us with big questions on how to utilise it. There was a lot of debate at the ministry, sorting 2 fractions of thought. Enlarging the armed forces by enlisting more men, while the second faction in favour of purchasing better military equipment. Increase the size. Some of our neighbours have larger populations plus a larger armed force. Using the funds to boost our size would minimise their advantage. Theoretically, numbers alone don't determine the strength balance. Enlisting more soldiers to the armed forces could also minimize the unemployment issue. Peter looked to Joseph. I'm not so convinced. What other reasons are there? Me neither. Reports show we lack equipment, not men, for military efficiency. We cannot beat an overwhelming large army like Rumburg without numbers. I'm for purchasing better equipment. Armed forces are behind in terms of military equipment in comparison to our neighbours. We need a fundamental modernisation program. No matter how many advanced weapon systems we buy, our enemies can overcome them. Vulcan had a serious tone. The Chief, Ministry of Defence, Chief of the Armed Forces. Sounds bleak. Yeah, quality over quantity. Smaller, well-equipped force can destroy a much larger one. So we'll be frank, Rumburg feels 3 times our force, and increasing the number probably won't help that much. Modernisation program won't mitigate our difference. The era of large assaults and human wave tactics are over. We are adapting to an era of modern combat which requires modern tools to adapt. I've settled on a decision. General's waiting for the word. I hope the decision is in the interest of all. Purchase better equipment and begin a modernisation program? Yes. As you wish, but the decision will be negative for our old doctrine. Okay, Yusuf, he likes that. Glad we make the right choice. Yusuf and Vulcan looked at each other. That will be all for today then. Good work, everyone. Good work. Good work. Everyone's done a great job. Brilliant. Well done. I'd like to extend my thanks for your attendance. Meeting concluded as sunset over the concrete jungle that was Whole Sword. Country overview updated. Military modernization program. New comprehensive modernization plan aims to upgrade the equipment of the military branch. Adequately equipped military. It's adequately equipped to be operationally effective if mobilized and deployed. Good. Internal security justification. Still got corruption. We need to get rid of this corruption, please. And we need to sort out the human rights. Okay, what's left? Up here. What's going on here? Trade talks. Oh, trade talks. Oh. Alright, let's have a look at the trade talks then, I guess. See what's going on. Sordland 1's flight from Whole Sword to Stalport took 3 hours but went very smoothly. We were about to touch down. David left his seat and came over while Simon was enjoying his newspaper. Looks like we're about to land, Mr. President. Looked outside. I could see Helgeland, the island between Vagsland and Agnolia. So many conflicts over a small piece of land. The island can barely sustain itself without outside help. If I was in the shoes of the Agnolian Prime Minister, I'd do anything to protect the motherland. Don't blame it, it's a very strategic position. Certainly, if you have Helgeland, it means you're in control of the whole Valgus channel. Especially one of the topics that Mr. Van Horten will bring up as a bargaining chip. We must be careful. Helgeland might be under the control of Agnolia, but the international community is yet to recognise it for good reason too. Nobody wants to make an enemy of Vagsland, especially because of the support of the United Contana and the CSP. Who's the CSP? Oh, the Security Pact, okay. Don't care who we're against, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Me included, I don't want to bring anything to injure our relationship. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I agree, we should do our best to stay in the middle ground. Simon folded his newspaper, we're just here for a trade. Sat down next to us. Aside from the point of Helgeland, we need to be careful with the additional requests. According to the deal that was negotiated so far, they want to sell our steel for a higher price. They're requesting easier access to our agricultural market. In return, they're promising cash flow and investments, especially in the Agnoland region. Yeah, we want investment there. Precisely, Agnolian immigrants in our Agnoland region make up a good chunk of the region's economy now. During the negotiations, they brought up the topic of immigration many times. Our job will be harder because of the new tightened immigration laws. Let's see if we can shake hands on it. Pilot made the announcement, the descent had started. Took a look at it outside the window. Large docklands of the city and the canals appeared closer as our descent continued. Stourport was certainly a fitting name due to the Stour meaning canal. A couple minutes later we touched down, the plane parked, I took a final look out the window. Welcome ceremony was waiting along the carpet outside. After the guards made their way out, I exited the plane. Wave at the crowd. There were many camera flashes. I started to make my way downstairs. Prime Minister Van Horten was nowhere to be in sight. Instead, I was greeted by the Foreign Minister. The handshakes, a couple of photos, I moved to the car where Serge was waiting to make our way to the office of the Prime Minister. Good day, sir. I hope the flight was comfortable. It was, thank you, Serge. Got in the car, we made our way through the foreign streets. Our convoy was protected by Swordish and Agnolian guards in their vehicles. Go by driving up by the highway beside the port and saw dozens of dockyards and ships anchored. Some of the ships and machinery looked old. The city itself looked very grey and grim, buildings had a touch of Rumburg's famous monarchian architecture with a mixture of Swordish signature domes on the older ones. We're now on the main road to the office. Looks like they were not too happy to see you, sir. Serge pointed at the crowd that gathered on both sides of the street. It's a protest. They were shouting and yelling at our convoy. Some they held signs written in Swordish. Go home, Rain. We don't want autocrats in Agnolia. You know, I never knew Agnolians were so ungrateful. Not everyone sees a great leader like you every day. Exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So ungrateful. They can yell all they want. There have been so many issues in Sordland, I don't know if I can call myself a great leader. I wonder what propaganda their state is feeding them. Yeah, let's say there's still a lot of issues. We're not a great leader yet. So humility is important, but not in this case. They're always scared of Sordland's potential. Now they're afraid that Lionhead Sordland. They're afraid of you. So we've arrived. The car continued through the gates while the security vehicles went the other way. Serge left the car and opened the car door. I exited and began walking to the door. Dozens of press and the Prime Minister were waiting for me. I saw the peer much more clearly as I neared the door. He was shorter than I thought. Martin Van Horten. Mr. President, welcome to Agnolia and to the beautiful city of Stourport. Thank you for the warm welcome. It's great to be here. Reached out for a handshake. The press surrounding us had been waiting for this moment. Overpower his handshake. Shake hands and hug after. I'm not going to overpower him. That's just being a dick, really. Okay, let's shake hands. We shook hands and smiled at the cameras as the press took pictures. Gestured to the entrance of the 200-year Parliament building. This way, please. We entered and the press followed us inside. I'd like to present you a gift of our sign of friendship between our countries. Assistant showed up immediately with a large glass box in her hands. It contained a single parchment inside. This here is one of the first treaties written in Sordland and Agnolia. May it mark the renewal of our friendship today as well. It is an amazing gift, thank you. Photos were taken again. I gestured at my retainers, who was holding our gift to the PM. Gift one of the original copies of the Constitution of Sordland. Gift a Swordish bred puppy, despite Martin's no fear of dogs. Gift a ceremonial sword made from Swordish steel. An ornamented ceremonial sword. I would love to give him the puppy. What did he gave me one of the first treaties. Oh, we give him one of the copies. It's okay. It's similar. An excellent copy. I've always wondered where one of the originals looked like. Thank you for this excellent gift. Cameras flashed once again. Let's go to my office. Followed him when we entered the office of the Prime Minister. It was a room of wooden minimalist decoration. More modest than I expected. We sat down, he leaned back and made himself comfortable. Sheesh. Fully done with the ceremonies. Thankfully done. I was about to say I'm not fond of these either. It's one of the tougher parts of our job. Try and mirror him if we can. Got up from his chair, moved over to the bar where there were many varieties of liquor. Would you like a drink, Mr. Rain? I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I'll have some vodka. That would be lovely, thank you. Ah, you know your drink. Pour the drinks and gave mine to me before sitting down again. A true gentleman. That's what I respect about you, Mr. Horton. That's how we do things in Agnolia, Mr. Rain. I appreciate the kind words, but flattery alone won't sway me this day. First of all, I'd like to say I've been watching your recent changes to the immigration policy. We have worries about the new and tighter immigration laws. Immigrants are very important for the beneficial economic development, and we believe that very much in Agnolia. We definitely prefer Sordland to be welcoming Agnolian citizens and vice versa. Ah! The decision had already been made. Before I start caring about Agnolian citizens, I must care about my own people. Why don't you deal with the problems in your own country first? That's a bit aggressive. Yeah, I'm going to focus on my own people. Valid point, but you're not giving much incentive to work with. He took a sip of his vodka. I know you've declared a state of emergency so early in your presidency too, so tell me, how is that going? Is it going where we're eliminating the threats one by one, internal and external? It is worrying that a state of emergency was declared right next to our borders. The reason I'm asking these questions is because I need to know if Sordland is a reliable trading partner. So tell me, Mr. Rain, is Sordland a reliable trading partner to Agnolia? Not even keep acting like you have the upper hand. As long as Agnolia is a reliable trading partner. Yeah, you can trust us. Very good. Mr. Horton leaned back further in contemplation. So what's it going to be? Let's change the course of our nations. Are you going to talk all day about past deeds, or are we going to sign this deal? Yeah, let's change the course of our nations. Vader, with all your actions so far, I'm not convinced that Sordland is the right partner for Agnolia. Sordland is simply too volatile. Elected politicians are getting killed in your country left and right. Not to mention the subsequent protests in between, well, the left and right. We were winning at first, however. The situation has changed. We do not have confidence in your state anymore. Sorry you've come all this way for this. Wait, can't we work something out? It's difficult. Oh, here we go. Okay. But I will still offer an alternative for the sake of our history together. First, you must allow us privileged access to your agricultural market. And you will be buying steel from us for a higher price that rights the wrongs of the past. And there is this issue. As you know, Sordland has been long contested between Agnolia and Vargsland. You know how the international community does not recognise our rightful claim in the island. We can only agree to this deal if Sordland finally announces the recognition of Sordland as Agnolian territory. No, we can't. You're asking too much. Sorry, I can't spend any more money. We are asking too much. I took you for someone you are not, I suppose, but you are no different from your predecessors. Be careful with your words. You are in no position to judge me. I've made my decision. There's nothing else to talk about. We're done here. Took you for someone you were not, I suppose. Be careful. Yeah, be careful. Don't be offensive. I'm not being offensive. I'm being nice. This would be the start of a new era, but apparently not. Well then. He stood up from his chair. Must continue the official program. As you know, we will pay a visit to our founder's grave for another ceremony. Afterwards, we will move to state dinner. I won't be joining. It's time that we are on our way home. After you. Yeah, let's continue to be polite. As soon as we left the office, I briefed Simon and David on the outcome of the meeting. The rest of the state trip was full of fake smiles, handshakes, incredibly long ceremonies, and even longer meetings between our ministers and their counterparts. When we came to the end of the trip, the way back was mostly silent. We couldn't help but let a sigh of relief when we touched down on Whole Sword. Wow, that didn't go well, did it? Right, so what happened? We failed at negotiating a trade deal. Yeah, we're not gonna... We've already got one enemy. I don't want another enemy. I also don't want to spend any more money. I don't have the money to spend. Okay, so we'll try and get trade talk with these guys. They'll probably be a bit more open to it. Right, so we'll leave this episode here. Next time we'll read the news, we'll look at what other reports are going on, and then we'll try our trade negotiations with these guys over on our left-hand side. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone.